Scentland, the land of scent. Hello and welcome everybody. Chris back with a brand new fragrance review straight from New York City, corner of Mulberry Street and Broome Street, which is actually the border of Little Italy and Chinatown. Great neighborhood if you wanna explore a little bit of the food that's so fantastically world class in this neighborhood. Before I started, I promised that I'm gonna bring along some fragrances that I think represent the city of New York very well. I've presented a few in a pre kind of review to you, and I forgot about this beauty because this release by the house of Antonio Puig, Spanish house, from the year of 1981 or 1982, contradicting information on the launch date, is a fragrance that, to me at least, perfectly. Oh, they're coming for me, I think. I'm hiding. I'm telling you, I'm hiding. That perfectly represents the city of New York. As I said, to me. Why? I'm going to be telling you. Now, what do I mean it represents the city of New York? Like, you have to basically fully indulge yourself, fully deep dive into the city in order to get all its vibes and its moods and its smells and its tastes, because there's so many neighborhoods. You have to really see the Upper East, the Upper West, Lower East. You have to see Brooklyn. You have to see Harlem, Bronx, Midtown as well. But Midtown is more kind of the shiny, sparkly marketing type of New York that many people know due to the very successful marketing, Times Square and all that. But there's much more to the city, and all different environments and parts of the city neighborhoods. There's so many special places and so many special locations that you have to really go there and experience places. As I say, Little Italy, Hell's Kitchen, Chinatown, and many more. You have to walk on the streets. You have to smell the pavement. You got to see the brick walls, and the fumes come in from the sidewalks, and all the smells coming onto the street from the restaurants and people smoking, and there's many green parks that are just fantastic. The overall impression that you get is mind-blowingly fantastic and very, very complex. And therefore, the fragrance that represents this city or aims to represent this city needs to be like that as well. Obviously, Quorum from Antonio Puig never aimed to represent the house of New York City, or the city of New York, right? Yet for me, it's somehow reminiscent. It somehow reminds me of the overall vibe, the mood of the city. It's very complex. It's very energetic, very classy, like the city that never sleeps, extremely classy. Yet at the same time, it has its dirty sides, it has its rough neighborhoods, right? This fragrance has these dirty notes that make you kind of think, wow, is this dangerous to wear? And in this day and age, it may be dangerous to wear, because, as I say, 81 or 82 was the year of launch or release. It was a different era. Obviously, it very much smells like many of those fragrances that smelled. Only this one, to me, is probably one of the most complex 80s green, aromatic, spicy, leathery, piney fragrances that are out there. Created by Carlos Benaim, Rosandeux Mathieu, and Max Gavari. This is a blend that is very complex, as I say. It has you know, it has lived through many decades. It's basically, it has prevailed throughout time. It's still here with us, and to me, I smelled it back in the years as well. Although I didn't wear it because I was 10 when this came out, but I remember it, and it does not smell that much different to what it was before. It's still a high quality juice with great performance, great longevity. The silage is really punchy, and does it smell old man? Does it smell old manish? Yeah, well, yeah. You know, if you want to call fragrances of the 70s, 80s old manish, then it does smell like a guys who were in their 20s wore this in 1980 or 85 or whatever. So they were if they were 20 then, they're 50 something now, right? So are they old manish? To me, they're not. I'm 46. I'm wearing this happily, but I can see a 20-year-old guy wearing this happily if he appreciates the complexity of the blend, and if he can pull, you know, himself up to the level where this fragrance is playing at. As I say, it's very complex. How does it achieve this complexity? It has a overall ruling note of pine, into which there's some sparkling, especially at the start, some sparkling citrusy lemony elements playing, and then you have leather fairly soon, you know, creeping into the picture, oak moss as well, maybe some flowery notes, maybe some jasmine, or some spicy notes in there as well that I cannot figure out 100%, but what I can surely tell you is pine, moss, leather, patchouli. The dirtiness of the patchouli does not strike you from the very beginning. It comes in later, and it's fantastic, especially when it's pairing up in the mid part and dry down of this fragrance with a great tobacco note, right? The tobacco note here is kind of a damp tobacco, right? It's very difficult to tell. Anyway, it's not a fresh cut tobacco leaf we're talking about. This is more like a tobacco that you have an ashtray and some rain was, you know, coming into the ashtray, and it's kind of a cigar in there maybe, or a good few cigarettes, and it's somehow outside, and you know, near a park where there's greenery, and you're sitting at the table and smell this somehow this ashtray if you're sitting in an Italian restaurant maybe, and you got some spices from the kitchen coming in and all that. This is so complex, and so much invigorating if you just let it. If you let those notes that were fashionable at the time when this released, if you let them actually play with you, and you don't say, "Wow, ooh, this is so piney, this is old manish, wow, this smells like a hairy chested guy with a gold chain." No, I'm not hairy chested, I don't have a gold chain, and I still love this thing, right? So forget about these, you know, these preconceptions that rule our everyday life, right? This is a beautiful fragrance if it matches your taste. Obviously people have different tastes. Some won't like it because it's not their taste, right? I can totally understand that, because this is a heavy hitter, right? And it punches the nose. It definitely punches the nose, and it stays there. Yet New York City punches your brain at the same time. If you make the effort to walk the streets, to get onto the subway, you know, to go into the neighborhoods, to see good and bad spots, shiny and rough neighborhoods. This is like this fragrance. But at the end of the day and at the end of the game, when you look back on your trip to New York, and you smell this fragrance at this very tremendous dry down, then you're going to say, "Wow, what a beautiful place! What a masterpiece of a fragrance!" Right? So this is where I think they have this parallel aspect to each other, the city and this particular fragrance. Therefore, I decided to present you Quorum by Antonio Puig as a somehow representative fragrance of New York. Even though, as I say, there was no really intention from the house of Puig to make this a fragrance that smells like the city of New York. This is just my brainchild, right? But it's with me here in the city. It's nice outside, it's fresh, it's green. There's many parks out here as well. It's so green, this fragrance, that apart from the dirty tobacco vibe that you get before you shock away, this has a nice lush green, uplifting, energizing aspect to it, which with the citrus parks that I've mentioned makes it, especially at the beginning, very, very energizing, uplifting, and mood boosting indeed. So I think I've been, really all over telling you good things about this fragrance, and that is because there's no bad things to tell about this fragrance, right? And it's laid back, and it's very, very confident, extremely confident, and it's, as I say, it stood the test of time. It's still here with us, and it still performs tremendously. And pair that up with the price that it has. It's very cheap, and it has, I think, a cult following as well. So Quorum from Antonio Puig, an absolute evergreen superstar fragrance for people who enjoy an evergreen, ever classy city that never sleeps. And I'm not sleeping much these days, maybe either, but who cares? Let's jump in and indulge into some dumplings in Chinatown. I think I'm ready for them, and then I'll hang out in Milano's bar, maybe. Great dive bar. So Quorum will be with me there today. Thanks very much for your attention, and obviously I'll present more fragrances that kind of remind me of the city of New York. Thanks very much, and see you soon. Bye bye.